Hello, welcome back to City Planner Plays, where we are building the city of Verde Beach. And in the previous episode, we got a good start on Mulligan International Airport, and today we are going to, I guess I wouldn't say finish it, but we'll get a lot closer than it currently is. So we extended, at the very end of the episode, we extended the runways and made them very long. And one of the benefits of that is that it gave us this big area to work with today. So we are going to put in a cargo airport right down here. We are going to put in some harbors down here. We're going to build another concourse right here. And then we're going to clean up all the edges around here and look for a place for the utilities to go. So lots to do today, and I'm curious, what is this? Wait, is that a buoy? I guess that would make sense. I think I might have put that out here. Yeah. So let's get this moved. We'll put that there. So that actually brings up a good point. I did notice one thing after I recorded after I recorded the last episode. I popped in here and I noticed that we now have our cargo our cargo line, or I guess the cargo route for our ships going right through the middle of the airport. Now that's a problem, but we do have Move It now, and I said I was going to use this sparingly, if at all. Well, this is one of those situations where I think I have to use it, but it'll be really easy. Let's come through here. Apparently move that too. So that wasn't what I wanted to do. So let's give that another go. There we go. So I got some cleanup. I will clean this up quickly, and then we should be good to go. Okay, so I've got that fixed, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, there are other better ways to do this, and you would be absolutely right. However, I don't have those ways available to me. So this will do the trick. This will save me. And this is really part of the 8081 tiles mod. So I'm going to give myself a pass on this one because I absolutely need it if we want to get ships to operate here, which that's part of the goal. So we're going to start out. I want to place this cargo terminal. Let's get started. And so I want to find the exact center of this. So it's right about here. Pop out of here and pop right back in. This is about where we need to be. I guess the other way to do it would be to come here. So 2,440 would also be right in the center. Right here. I was really close. I was shockingly close. I think that was right on. I'm going to give myself that one. Because that was... All right, so I wanted to do that for one specific reason. Not because I can snap to it, but because as a visual reference for what I'm about to do, it's going to be really good. So here's what I want to do. Pop into the transport menu. Pop in the airport area, and we'll go over to air cargo. And now we'll grab the terminal. Now, I was watching one of the video from... Imperator, and it looked like you don't even need this thing, but I still like the way it looks, and I'm going to include it as a result. So what I'm thinking is I want this to be something that is underneath the runway, where the path is going to go to get to this. It's going to be controversial and neat, I think. I think. So we'll put it right there. And then on either side, we're going to extend out, say, go at 20 units. It's mostly even there. And you might be wondering, well, how do we get a road back here and why? Well, we're going to do a couple of things. So we've got this here. I want to have the harbors. So we're going to go through, grab some of these. We are going to use the hub so that we have our rail here. So we've got some work to do. So lots of terraforming in this one. If that's something you're interested in, I think you're going to like this one. So very first thing I want to do is I want to carve into this a bit. So let's go into here. We're going to pop down. And I'm actually going to give myself a guideline. I'm thinking a little bit more about how I want to accomplish what I'm going to accomplish, and I think a guideline is the best thing to do. So I'll come out, I'll make sure I've got plenty of space, and And then I want to make sure I have enough space for what I'm looking to accomplish here as well, which is going to be about... we're going to actually need to do more, I think. So let's... before I tell you exactly what I'm thinking, pop this over. Okay, so I only want to use the grid of my road guidelines. I'm going to come over here. 1, 2, and then rail and rail. So this is going to be a little trench, kind of a corridor where we have all of our modes of transportation side by side. There we go. So that is how wide I need this to be. So we're going to need to widen the island just a little bit. And now we'll just terraform normally. And now I'm realizing it probably would make some sense to just have another guide on the other side. Now, unfortunately, I'm flooding, so I need to wait a second. So this is where I'm going to trench. Let's pull this out just a little bit further. And interestingly, this water is actually going to be very helpful for what I want to accomplish down here. Okay, so what I want to do down here is build a quay wall on the side, so I actually need coastline for that. So I'm pleased to see the water down here because I should be able to just pop right up here. And for at least part of this, add the quay wall. So the other way to accomplish this, if you have natural disasters, is to go ahead and we are going to get wild. And we are going to just start dumping water into here. Now it's going to take a little while, but once this fills up, we should be able to finish our quay wall. Then I'll get rid of my guidelines here and get building this transportation facility. All right, now that we have our quay walls up and we've got our corridor set, we need to figure out a way to get this water out. Now, this might be able to happen naturally. I wouldn't bet on it, but it will evaporate off. That is one game mechanic. That said, I'm not sure where this is going to go. So, might just be something to keep an eye on. So the other thing I want to do is now, whoa, not that. We're going to raise this up just a little bit. And we're going to figure out where all this stuff should go. So for here, we've got water down there too. So I'm going to have a road going underneath here. We're going to probably back this out a little ways. And let this turn in. Okay, so now that we've got an idea of where this is all going to go, I want to get this moving. So I'm going to put this here. I'm going to drop it down. Let's change this up. We'll start lowering the height. And I'm suddenly filled with all sorts of regret for deleting that. Interestingly, whenever I delete this, water comes back and it's like I'm floating. So I'll need to give that some thought. I do want to get started on the first one though. So let's just go underground. That is very interesting. For some reason, it's really into this side wall not being right. So we're going to need to redo that little portion. And this is part of why those guidelines are so important. The quay walls will absolutely disrupt what you're doing. And I'm giving this some more thought. What I think I might do. So I absolutely want to have two separate roads there, but I'm going to swap this over and convert it into this 4-lane road. And you'll see why in just a moment. Around the bend here, and I'll upgrade this as well. Okay. So that saves me some grief there. And we're going to need to do the exact same thing with rail, though this will be a bit different. So I'll need to fix this edge as well. I'm thinking I might just let some water in here. We'll see if I live to regret this. I wonder if I just extend this out a ways. That'll create a little tsunami over here. Oh, and I'm realizing one thing, I did not lower the heights there. So the things you have to do when you try to keep it vanilla. Now that it's paused though, I may be able to just extend it up. There we go. And that's about as far as I want to go now anyway, so I'm very pleased with how that turned out. There we go, nice and clean. So the unfortunate thing is now my tracks are flooded, but you know, that was kind of to be expected. So let's go ahead. I'll see if I can get this down. So just turning on angle allowed me to make that. That's something I've always struggled with. It's good to know that just having angle on will do the trick. Now I was really hoping that I could get these ends to line up. They didn't quite work. I'm going to try it one more time, because if I could get that to line up, I think it'll look really nice. It's a little bit off, but I think I'm going to let a little bit of imperfection exist. The part I'm less excited about is the imperfection on the quay walls. So we are going to do a little bit more work there. Now, interestingly, I didn't realize that this water outlet would snap too. I guess I should have, but I didn't. Okay. So there we go. Got it in there. And now I can raise this up and it won't flood again. Or that's the hope. All right, so this is going to be the way in. It's a little bit lumpy and bumpy, but I think we're going to be okay with it. I think it's going to be fine. There's certainly some water down here too, but we'll deal with a bit of imperfection there as well. While the water is clearing up, one of the reasons I wanted this to be our entryway is in the previous build, we had a toll booth to prevent unauthorized access back here, and I think this would be an excellent spot for the toll booth right down here. Maybe we'll even go in just a bit further. There we go. I love that. So that will be the way that we keep unauthorized access out. And then we'll just come through and line up with our roundabout. That is great. That is really great. So I know that we're going to need to extend this over a bit because I want to get these down. So I'm going to do that right now. I saw a couple lumpies and bumpies, so I just eliminated that road temporarily. Take it back, and we will make sure that it is totally smooth. And we'll be building on water again. It's relentless. It will get better, I promise. Maybe that just means that we can build our train tracks. Oh, and we finally have it. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. So this will have another quay wall along the outside, but I wanted to have this nice step down into here. We're going to need to figure out how to get power here too. That's going to be a bit of a thing. So I think I'm okay with this ending here. So what we're going to do is start to bring this back. So we don't need all of this here. And we're going to need to start thinking about our new someday quay wall. So I want to pull this in so that there is some separation in between the mainland and the island. And then I'll pull those back. We're going to use our curved road tool. There we go. Nice, smooth with some, oh no, why? Why? So it's because I didn't pause. So let's give this another go. I think I honestly just need to let this go and settle down for a little while, and then it will be good to go. For the time being, we've got this going, and that's what I was really interested in right now anyway. So I will come back to this, but let's start working on our aircraft stands. So I want to place a few of these, but I want to do it in a way that's very thoughtful and that I can mirror what I'm doing. So I'm going to go to the very edge of these. We'll see if that gives me enough space for 4. It does not. So in light of that, I'm going to go over just one more. So go out and we'll come in one. There we go. And then we'll do the exact same thing over here. Now I want to pull this up. We're going to go with that larger road. And I'm going to pull it up, we'll say 25-ish. And then we'll come down again with these. Now, I can't be 100% certain that I'm getting this 100% right. So I'm just going to guess. But I can always fix it later. Now, I really want these to line up perfectly. So I'm going to check to see if these do line up. So this is the same taxi, yeah, and it's not right. So I'm wondering, if I come through here and do that, it's too much. It's too much. Again, too much. I'm going to try to give myself that guide. So 1 back was too much, 2 back. Still too much. That is absolutely wild. I thought that this would be a simple task. It is not. Let's try on this side. Looks like it lines up a lot better on this side, for whatever reason. Although you can tell it's just a little bit off. Well, maybe a little bit of imperfection and a little lack of symmetry isn't the end of the world. And it'll have to not be the end of the world because I don't think I can fix it. And I'll have to pause this and fix the runways. With the exception of water, this should be totally operational. You know, now, the way that this is coming in, I think this actually makes the most sense. You'd come down the runway if you were flying in, come back around, and yeah, that'll work. So we'll do the exact same thing over here. I do want to get this functioning though. So why don't we just get this moving? Okay, so power is the last concern over here. And I don't think I want any more cargo over here, so I'm going to go with another passenger terminal like we have over here and do another row. So why don't we get that going right now as well? So I've got to make sure that this is going to function appropriately. I might need to move this to get this aisle behind this, but I want to double check first. So let's pop in here, and I'm 99% positive this isn't going to work. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but we're going to have to move this just a little bit. And this, honestly, when you look at what we've done with our rail here, this almost makes me just want to spin this around. It's a lot of reconstruction, but I think we're going to do it. The main reason is I would love to clean up our metro here so that it's a little bit easier to route. So if it were this way, considerably easier, although now it looks weird. And we can't connect in. Oh, that stinks. So we are going to keep it. I'll just have to fix all of that stuff I just deleted. So, okay, so the interesting thing is, this exposes just that this is just a little bit off back here, the cargo airport. Now, I could do a lot to try to fix that. I think the easiest way would be to move it. I'm not going to do that. Although a little piece of me is very sad because that would be such an easy fix. Even this is just a little bit off, so it's going to give me a hard time. I'm just leaving this here. I know that this is a little bit too far away, so I brought it down just a little bit, and I'm going to keep going back until I get this to fit just right. You can see that this is just about it. It'll let me do it. It's just really finicky. So a little bit closer would probably be even a little bit better. Interestingly, not even. I think this is the perfect distance, so we're going to go with it. Now, the sad thing is, I don't know that this is straight either. This is one of the frustrations that I guess I've had. This DLC, I don't have many issues, but this is one. Very difficult to tell if things are straight. I think this is pretty close. So I'm going to attempt to connect this up. Hopefully it's straight. Looks pretty good. And I think the trick is, even though I wanted this to be exactly where I wanted this to be, you've got to follow the game, and the game doesn't want it there. Now, I'm going to put some decorations next to this. I think I'll put in a couple of park planes, and that's going to look really nice. So now the trick will just be getting this all connected up, which hopefully won't be that bad. I think I'm just potentially trying to cram too much in here. I'm going to convert these down to medium stands, and hopefully that will help. And now the couple of stands that I deleted that I probably shouldn't have. And truthfully, it almost seems like it worked out for the best. There we go, and we can fit in a couple of small decorative park planes in there, and that's going to look really snazzy. So let's get a couple of those in. You can see that I'm kind of fumbling around some of this stuff still. This DLC, even though I helped with the guides, there are still some things that are just a little unnatural to me still. Look at that. Now that is better than we had last time. Considerably better. So I'm very happy with how that turned out. One of my favorite things about the modular nature of this DLC is you just have a lot of flexibility. You can really experiment and play with things and get this to be exactly what you want it to be. So I'm just going through here and just trying to fit all this stuff in. And you can see that with a bit of patience, you can really make it happen. Now that is nice. I like that a lot. So this is one place where I could really use Surface Painter. I'd love to fill in some of these areas because I just don't, to me it looks pretty unnatural having them like this. That said, like this I can detail with some landscaping, not trees or anything, maybe just a couple. But I can do a lot with grasses, and like you can see right here, they've done a lot with flowers and grasses, and I could carry this over, especially now that we have them in vanilla, which is so exciting. That's it's big to me. It's big to me. All right, so let's go ahead and get these runways going. We're almost there. And I want to reverse the direction of this. It's going the wrong way. So we want it to not be the same as this. Give some options getting around the airport. There we go. There we go. And we never finished over here either. There we go. So now after I get this water, we should have power all the way down the line. Let's see. Oh, that is a thing of beauty. That is a thing of beauty. We can fit some more parked planes in a couple of places, and we're going to do that right now. Oh, we can't. That is a killer. So I wonder, a large park plane? Interestingly, I can basically rotate the rest of them around. But this one, because of how tight it is, it's really kind of a struggle. And that looks terrible anyway. So let's see if there's anything else I can fit in there. Yeah, probably not much. So I think we'll just put one of these in here, and then we'll have some park planes in the side. There we go. I like that more. I know it's totally unnecessary. I just like the way it looks. So, and sometimes you just got to do that. Just whatever's going to make you happy. And that's what I'm doing right now. This makes me happy. And I just pulled the concourse a little bit further down there to clean things up. And I will also clean up this taxiway just for visual continuity. Not because this is actually going to be used. I actually kind of hope this isn't used. But we'll put it there. There we go. I really like that. Let's get the metro set up here. Otherwise, I don't know how you get here. So I'm just going to come through. We'll have a quick turn. Then right back in. And I'll take this existing line, pull this down here. There we go. Now, I don't know that I actually ever changed the trains that we're using here. So why don't we do that? Because that's something we have the opportunity to do now. So we should certainly take advantage. So this is the airport shuttle. And when you pop in here, we can do express metro and just have it ping back and forth. There's actually a number of passengers on there. So that's great. And that'll go a little bit faster, carry a few more people, and go right back and forth. So that it feels full and good. So I'm excited about that. Now we've got some garbage issues here, and I'm wondering, yeah, we have no flights here. Not surprising, there's no way to drive to this. So let's get that established. Now that should spring this thing to life, but that's not good enough for us. We need more. So now I want to think a little bit about this cargo harbor. And to get there, we need to get this cleaned up. So I want to come here. This is our furthest segment. So we're going to come here. Then I'm going to pop this up. This is so basically I want an angle here where I can pop the land out for the rail to come up. So I'm going to send this down just a little ways, and we're using these roads as a guideline for our terraforming. So that's why I'm so particular about the way that this is going to work. So let's get down here, pull this in, and now we get to sell some soil. So that's new. Okay, so that's going to work out really, really well for us. Let's go ahead and get our quay wall up here, because this is the only quay wall that we are 100% certain about at this point. And it'll be easier just to pause this. And I've got to let this calm down. While we're waiting, why don't we go back over to the rail that we were working on earlier and get that, because this bit of sea is calm at this point. So we should be able to make our connections and do so in a way that is a bit prettier than last time. Oh, look at that. Oh, that is just a beaut. I love that. I love that so much. Now we've got this mayhem at the roundabout. We had signals and craziness. Now we've got that taken care of. So let's get some water pipes over here. We'll put those underneath our road because we can. And then we'll just pop this over here. Now, I'm not 100% sure how we get power here yet, but I've got a couple of ideas. So I want to have the airport museum right here, and I'm thinking it'd be nice to have the airport. We're not making any money from the airport right now, and we don't have a lot of money, so it might be nice to put the airport headquarters right here so we could form our own airline and start making some money on this bad boy. So to start, I want a road right in front of this, which might sound a little weird, but if we zoom in, you can see that there are doors here. So if we have a road here, people will be able to walk. I don't know if that's close enough. So I'm going to turn off the grid and try again. And it's still clicking and popping. And I'm just going to go rogue. No, that's what I was looking for. So interestingly, this is a train station, and we need to find a way to connect this up with our existing rail network, which was underground. We have this bridge here, but this isn't necessary anymore. So this isn't passenger, so it's not me pulling this in. This is kind of doubles up this line here, and this line is actually a line that you can split off and come up here. Remember, this used to loop in. So this is no longer needed. So we're going to get rid of this infrastructure that is no longer needed. Oh, that's better. That is much better. And now let's get thinking again about this museum. So I wanted this road here because this is going to tee into our new museum road. So I want the museum. Let's take a look at the building itself. So it's backwards right now. And I want this to be in the opposite direction. So I'm going to place that there. And I can use the road guidelines to turn it around. So I want the planes to face the road. I think that is the more appropriate location. Let's see if I can get this thing. It is mad. Why? All right, we'll just delete it because we're spending all the money anyway. Might as well spend a little bit more. Space already occupied. Interesting. I've had some interesting things happen with this asset where it just does have issues like that. Even though it looks like everything's lining up perfectly, for whatever reason, it's not happy. That's okay. Oh, that was a pain. I'm not sure why I couldn't get that to work, but it finally works now. So I guess take the wins when you get them. It was not going to give it to me easy. And then we'll come back and make another connection down here. Easy peasy. There we go. Loving it. Now let's make a path connection so you could leave this, and if you wanted to walk to the front of the airport, you could if you really wanted. There we go. So we could do more here, and eventually we will do a little bit more, but for the time being, I just want everything to be operational before we make it really pretty. Which, with this new DLC, is not difficult to do. So many great assets created by Mr. Mason. I just love basically everything about this DLC. Now this, that is a bit of an area to gap. So one thing that I think we're missing, first of all, we could extend this out, this concourse. So we're going to do that. We'll see if that does the trick. But we also are missing a number of core facilities that I think we would see back here, like fire and police. So that's something else that we could add. That's a lot closer now. Maybe we're just, one disaster facility away. The perfect location. Oh, that is a killer. Well, because we have move it, because this isn't cheating too much. There we go. Didn't do anything. The easiest way would probably be just to move this back. I'm gonna give that a shot too. I can't believe that. It's so close. It's so close. Oh, I hate that so much. But we're gonna roll with it. I think that's the best we're gonna be able to do. So we'll have to let it be. So I could extend this over, but it just doesn't seem reasonable to me. There's a lot of traffic in here. Why don't we make it worse? we'll add a couple more of these aircraft stands because I think we can. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if that's good or not, but we've done it. To me, it makes the airport feel even more filled out, and I'm certainly deviating from the inspiration for this airport at this point, but I'm good with it. I like that. This feels like it has activity now, like there's a lot happening, like a big flood. All right, so now that we've got this, let's get our quay wall going over here because I think that we should be in a good spot for it. And it's just dipping down, which I'm not very excited about. So I'm going to pause it and try to do some things. Just pull it out ever so slightly. Leave it paused and see if it lets me get away with some things. And I'm not there yet, but I'm real close. I'm close to getting away with things. So we're going to roll with it. So we honestly need a spot where the trains could come up. This is probably pretty good. No. We'll let it run and see if it likes this now. That was bizarre. It just would not let me come in here until I deleted some. But that happens from time to time, so I guess it's just something you gotta contend with. So now I'm gonna come through and I really want to clean this up. This will be very controlled. And we are going to control it. And then we'll come through here and smooth everything out. So we have no lumpies or bumpies on our quay wall. And I've got a lot of work to do over here, so I'm going to come through and do a lot of this with minimal interaction. So we'll cut through this in just a moment. So interestingly, I'm having some sort of artifacting through here. These are just a little bit different in height. So I need to do one of two things. I either need to raise the side of this to hide some of that, or I need to pull this out further. I'm thinking that the path of least resistance is probably to pull this out. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I grab the height up here and I'm coming through and I'm just barely nudging over the edge, and that is smoothing things out, getting rid of that hump, and that is exactly what I wanted. So I'll need to have a little bit of imperfection at the bottom to get this to be perfect on the top, and that's perfectly fine with me. Then I'll come around at the end and just feather it back a little bit to make it look a little bit more natural, a little less jagged and crazy. Maybe I can even get this to go under the waterline and have a nice compromise in between what I was looking for and what I got. I'll take that. That's probably good enough. I need to calm down. We'll get to detailing. Right now I can't even get this wall to work right here. So I've got other issues to worry about. I think the biggest thing with terraforming is just to be patient. And you can tell this has not been a project that has been incredibly easy, but it's certainly one that's been, I think, very, very important. So now we're going to go ahead and put in our cargo harbor. And this is why we moved this, because now we can just easily place a couple of these right here. Oh, and look at that height. Beautiful. I don't know why it's doing that. We're going to live with a little bit of imperfection here because that is going to be impossible. Now, if we use move it, you know, just as easy as tap, 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 tap. But we're not using move it. So we will live with the oddballness of it. Although, if you guys think it's acceptable to cure my unhappiness with all of this, let me know in the comments. Oh. There's so much of this it's very, very difficult to fix. So the very first thing I want to do is we are going to turn all of our snap twos on. Let's just get this thing we'll have a short bridge above ground, and then we'll take it at grade, and then we'll bring it below grade. I'm wondering if it's possible for us to mirror this. There we go. For the sake of visual continuity, I think that's going to look really nice. And now we've got two lines coming in here. We're going to combine them underground because we don't need two. And then here, we'll just link these right up right here. There we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now I want to connect these up. That's almost perfect, but not quite. Let's see if we can get it to be absolutely perfect. No. That's the short answer. No, it's not going to be perfect, but it'll be pretty close. It'll look very nice. And the whole reason why I'm a little bit unconcerned about this is we're going to come up here. Once we can actually build this area, and we will upgrade this road. So I want to have some open air storage over here. We're going to have that for general goods. So we're going to find our warehouses. I'm just going to line it up. I like this look by a harbor. I'm going to try to clean this up a little bit. The soil we're just a scotch higher over here, and it's kind of messing everything up. It's really unfortunate. I wish that this was perfectly level. Very difficult to do. We can clean things up just by moving things back and forth. So that's what we're going to do. Move it back and forth. And then we'll send a road up right here. Oh, I was really hoping. I'm going to need to move them all down just a bit. Okay, and lots of playing around to get this to be exactly the way I want it to be, but I think it's going to be worth it in the end. I want this to really line up and feel like it's one cohesive unit. And this is going to serve as our rail link in. We're not going to use the rail link that came with the cargo DLC, so this is really important that we nail this. And then here, we'll send this road up. That'll be the end of this area. We'll just have a little bit of a gap, and that's totally fine. I'm hoping that we can fit, again, you can see that gap expanding a bit. I'm hoping that we can fit one more row back here, and I'm gonna probably just get rid of this, and we'll focus it in on this direction. Okay, so now we've got a whole bunch of this stuff, and we're still kind of a mess. And we've got height things. Oh, we're going to need to figure something out here. That's not a today thing. At this point, I just want this all running. So I'm going to pull this down here. There we go. So this area should have power, but we are flooding pretty terribly down here. So we are going to put a couple of our utility buildings over here. In particular, we're going to have the ability to clean up our floods. So let's get that right here. And now I've got the big job of setting up what each of these is going to do. So I'm going to do that right now. And I think most of these are going to be zoned products. Things that we can easily get out of here and get in here and use at some of our businesses. I take that back. I'll mix it up. We'll have a little bit of everything. We'll have a lot of commercial goods. And then this end, I'm going to have mostly things that we'll be able to use. So our petroleums. I'm even thinking about bringing ore in here because we don't have any ore industry just yet. But why don't we leave that for now? I'll have a couple of these set to petroleum, and then a whole bunch of unique factory goods and animal products. Actually, unique factory goods. The reason I'm doing that is I don't want to start exporting things before they go to the factory. So if I have unique factory goods, hopefully I'm exporting those things. And then I'll have petroleum over here because we are importing 100% of our petroleum. Okay. And we've got our first load coming in, completely full. Look at that. We still got this. Is this doing anything? No. Great. Nice. So let's clean this up a little bit as best we can anyway. And I can see that I inadvertently left that rail line underneath there, my guide line. There we go. So at some point this has to clear out. Evaporation, whatever. It's got to get better. Here, got some lumpies and bumpies, but it's pretty good. It's pretty darn good. We're going to detail and cover some of this up in the next one. And, you know, kind of do all of the detail work. So all the quay walls. I do want to finish this one quay wall, though. And we can't leave before this is done. Okay, so we are certainly making some waves. And I think that we're moving this in a good direction. It's not often that I feel really sad about not having mods, but there's just a little bit of imperfection here that I know that I could fix. And that's the kind that, you know, I need to find a way to move it out of here because it's just so tempting. All the time, I just look at these couple of things and think, if I could do X, Y, and Z, I'd have this totally fixed. But that's not where we're at. I really want to see this operational. So we are going to wait for this to clear. And man, it's starting to feel like it'll never happen. But I know that it will. I know that it will. So we're going to wait for this to clear. And then, actually, let's pause this for 1 second. I'm wondering if we can get a quay wall around here. Since we're all about quay walls today. Oh, that is amazing. So amazing. Go away. Stop. Let's let this load up with water. We are going for it again. We're just going to dump clean water right here to try to get this to connect. So I thought filling this up would be an easy process, but it's not. And I think the reason why is it's filling this entire tunnel up down here. So that's going to take a while. I'm going to move it down here and we'll see if that does the trick. That did it. Very good. So now I can turn this back on and let this run. I'm going to let this go for a few minutes and wait for this area to clear out so that we can start to see some action happening here. You can tell that it's close. I'm going to also add a couple of things while we're waiting. So one thing that we desperately need here is some sort of trash collection. So we're going to do that right now. So let's go ahead and get that in place. And I think we're too far away for our waste transfer facilities, so I'll just have this little recycling center back here. And over here, I'm going to add in both a police department, a fire department, and then we're going to have some other core city services back here. I think a clinic will do just fine back here. And that should be good enough. And I'm interested in what can we have for vehicles back here? Why don't we have some mini fire engines? And as far as police vehicles, we'll just have a random police car. This is one of the new things in this area. Fly car ambulance. I like that. So that'll keep things going well here. We do the exact, well, no, not the recycling center. Not the recycling center. Good enough. We've got donut trucks that want to leave, but there's so much water floating on this tunnel that they can't. We've got the water pumping truck on this side too, so hopefully soon enough we'll get it. So I'm gonna come over here because we've got to get our airport going. If we take a look right now, this is costing us $63,000 a week. We have most of our seats filled, but it's not great. Passenger count is through the roof. Most people are going out. Let's see. We don't have our transit hooked up. That's probably part of the issue. Let's go ahead and establish our train. Oh, it's coming in at the wrong angle for us. So this loop would be incredibly slow, but I don't really know how else we get this to connect. And at this point, this is our only transit service out here, so it's very, very important that we get it established. It's telling me that I can't build on water, which is curious, because this is underground. There we go, and that is some dippy craziness, but I think that it'll be fine. We're just going to not let perfect be the enemy of good here, and we will let that fly. Let's establish a line here. We do have, I guess we have had subway service out here, but I'd really love to get this out here as well. I'm regretting that. Let's take a look at what's out here and get a line that makes sense. So the pink line goes all the way out here. So let's just take this, pull this out here. We will make sure that we have stops here. And then we will upgrade that train line. So that's the Mulligan line. Let's take a look. We'll change the vehicle to be a airport express train. Now I've got some other vehicles in here, and I'm not sure. This is from the new content creator pack. Okay, I'm really excited about that. I was looking at those and it's like, did some sort of asset sneak its way into here? I can't do that. But I can. What a great addition to the game. That's amazing. So now we've got this. I don't know why it doesn't like it. Yeah, it's very unhappy with me. I assume it's gonna get happy. I'll come down here. Yeah, I don't know. I will speed it up and hopefully that gets better. Lots of people parking out here, so something's happening. No one's on the line. That's interesting. Oh. So I figured out the issue, and the issue is that I'm a knucklehead. So it was that orange line that I created. You'll have that. So there we go. Move that over. We're good. And I'm wondering. Yeah, we need to have a stop over here, but I can keep them both on this side. And now there's not any crisscrossing, so that'll be better. Speed things along. And this is a bypass station, so it shouldn't slow up traffic here. Although there's a lot going on here. And this allows intercity trains. It should not. This one too out here. I don't know if this is an option. Yeah, we don't want that. And then we've got a water issue out here. We'll just extend that. There we go. So I'm not going to get fancy right now with anything happening out here because I'm going to save that for the next one. But what I do want to do is just make sure that we have this here. We'll give it a little bit of space. And this could really go anywhere. This could go downtown Verde Beach, but there'd be a lot of destruction. So I think the airport would be a spot for it. Okay, so Trattoria Airlines, and we are going to jack the price up, and you can see it as a projected income here. It modifies the attractiveness of the airport. I don't care. We need to make at least 55,000. I'd love to make even more. Why don't we take it up? Do 115. So we're taking the attractiveness down, but this is still well above what we need to be at level 3. Now this airport is just making us some money. Now, granted, we've got a lot of unused seats. Maybe that's not great. Let's set car rentals. We'll just see what that does. And I don't know that this is going to be important. Oh, wow, that's going to be expensive. Because our airport is huge. So if I put that policy on, that's going to cost us thousands a week. So we're not going to do that. There's nothing here besides the airport. So I don't know that it really helps us. So I just want to make sure that this is operational, and it looks like it is. We'll do this, which was my goal here, to set this up, and I'll turn these junctions off. I'd love to have a yield sign here, but we'll just, you know, do that. And I'm feeling very good about what has happened. Got our petroleum products lining up there. Got some bumpies that are just gonna bug me. I'm gonna do it. I've got to. And I'm sorry, everybody. I can't do it. I've got the power. It's right here. It's right here. And I have resisted all build. But I just had to do that. And it looks so much better. So much better. There's a little bit of wonkiness. I could probably raise these up just a couple of notches. There we go. That is beauty. That is beauty. I could even stand to do a little bit more, but I will just relax. But this is, yeah, to me, this is a lot better. Okay, now I will relax. I will step away from the move it. And let me know. Does it bug you that I used it in this particular way in this build? I could have spent time cleaning that up, but it would have just taken forever. And I don't know that I've been able to get it to look this nice. So as much as I would love to select all of these, rotate just a little bit and get this to be perfect, I get not doing that. But that little notch down there, I think, makes a big difference. And look at this. The airport is full of life. It's full of planes, and it's making money. I believe we'll just double check. Oh, look at that. We're making $100,000 a week. Look at the amount of money that we're pulling in now. This is ridiculous. This is outstanding. All that money that we sunk into this build has absolutely been worth it. You can see that it is brought us back to life from a financial standpoint. Maybe we should bring this down a little bit. Maybe we're going too far, and we'll get more of our seats filled up, which will help our tourism industry. We take a look at this. We got some passengers. Curious as I look. There's not really with the old airport. You click on the terminal and you would see transit first, which is kind of interesting. Now we don't see that. So Airport Hamilton, yeah, those are some passenger counts. Look at that. That is outstanding. And that when we do have our Airport Express Metro, let's see if what's holding up. Not great, truthfully. So I don't know. High capacity Metro. How many is in here? 50? That can't be right. 500. Look at that. So we have 3 of 14 out there. This is great. This is great. Oh, this is what the vanilla game is needed. I mean, these vehicles, these are, wow. 500. That is great. That solves a lot of transit problems. I can't wait to see what this jumps up to, but I think we're gonna have to wait, and we're gonna have to do some transit tweaks. This is outstanding. All right, so but before we get there, I do think we need to take a look. We've done a lot of really great things today, and we should definitely take a look and have a brief city tour. Okay, this was a long one, but I think it was a good one. I'm really loving the direction of the airport. This DLC is awesome. Just gonna throw it out there. If you don't have it, get it. It's just so much fun. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button. If you aren't subscribed, please consider doing so, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.